Okay, is my voice quite clear?
Yes, sir.
It's okay, yeah. Okay, so for today, we will try to discuss for indifference curve. We'll try to discuss indifference curve here. To make it smooth, because there are more students, so to make it smooth, I'll just do the discussion first. You can ask the questions later on, yeah, so that there is no distractions in the middle. Let's just give 1 more minute. Okay. I'm going to share screen first, and then we will start. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Assign difference curve and budget line. Indifference curve and budget line. So we will just focus on one chapter for today. So indifference curve and budget line. So what is an indifference curve? So simply the combination of two goods that give the consumer equal satisfaction or utility. Indifference curve slopes downwards. So it slopes downwards to indicate that a fall in the quantity consumed of one good is accompanied by an increase in the consumption of the other good, given the same level of satisfaction. What's the meaning of this? Meaning, if you decrease the consumption of one good, definitely you're going to reallocate your available budget to consume the other good. Definitely you will reallocate your budget to consume the other good. Okay, so we have this diagram. So we have indifference curve 1, indifference curve 2, and indifference curve 3. If it is under one indifference curve, if it is under one indifference curve, then it will be definitely having the same level of satisfaction. So if it is under one indifference curve, it will definitely be having the same level of satisfaction. So this one, all the points here, X, Y, and Z, they all have the same level of satisfaction. And then for this one, they will have a different level of satisfaction. And then for this one, a different level of satisfaction. Yeah, so that is the conditions. That will be the conditions. I3 would have a higher level of satisfaction, yeah. I3 would have a higher level of satisfaction compared to I2. Okay, so I3 would have a higher level of satisfaction compared to I2 and also higher compared to I1. Yeah, so the further away, it will be having higher level of satisfaction. Okay, you get the point, yeah? So far, this is the conditions. So you can take note of the situation, yeah. This is the situation. The further away from origin, further away. So if we draw one more, indifference curve, let us say I4, then this would be having the highest level of satisfaction. But if we draw here I5, that will be having lower satisfaction. Okay, so I think I believe this should be okay, understandable. Now, rational consumer always opt for the highest indifference curve. Okay, they always go for the highest indifference curve. If you are rational, you always go for the highest indifference curve. Indifference curve cannot cross each other. So it cannot be like this. It cannot be like this. It cannot be like this. It is not possible for it to be that way. Yeah, it's not possible for it to be that way. Cannot cross. Because if you cross, that means it will show that you are being irrational. Okay. All three curves will slope more steeply from left to right. Yeah, all three curves will be sloping more steeply from left to right. It shows what? It shows that when consuming large amount of goods Y, if you consume large amounts of goods Y, let's say more, then the consumer is willing to give up rather more of these goods than when the consumption of good X is small. That means that more of goods Y will be sacrificed as you progress and substitute it to goods X. That means what? More of goods Y will be sacrificed as you substitute it to good X. And that is very, very normal. That will be very, very normal, yeah. Now, what is it called? This is an MCQ questions. You will be asked this one. The rate at which the consumer is willing to substitute one good for another in this way is known as marginal rate of substitution, MRS. Marginal rate of substitution. That is the answer. Now, budget line represents the combination of goods or service that a consumer can purchase given their income and the prices of the goods or service. Budget line. Budget line is similar to PPC. PPC is the maximum that an economy can produce. Budget line is the maximum a person can spend. It has the same idea. It almost has the same idea. Yeah, it almost has the same idea. PPC, maximum that can be produced. Budget line, maximum that can be consumed by a consumer. It shows the trade-off between two goods. The same, yeah, same concept like PPC. Trade-off between two goods. Maximum possible combination that can be bought with a specific budget. With the budget that you have, how many goods A can be bought and how many goods B can be bought? What are the combination of goods that can be bought? The slope of the budget line reflects the relative prices of the two goods. the slope of the budget. The slope will reflect the relative price. If it is more steep, more steep or more flat, it will reflect the prices of the two goods. And any point on the line, any point on the budget line shows a spending decision where all available income is used up. Okay. Now, we have this situation. Suppose a person has $200 to spend on two goods, X and Y. Okay, assuming the price of Y is $20 and the price of X is $10. It is clear that if a person will be consuming full goods X, if they will be consuming full goods X, then it will be $200 divided by how many dollars? $10, yeah. Divided by $10. So that will be 20 goods X. So if you are only going to consume X, you can purchase 20 goods X. But if you are only going to purchase goods Y, that means $200 will be divided by $20 because the price of goods Y is 20. So you can purchase 10 here. So you can purchase 10. So that is called the maximum quantity of goods that you can purchase with the given budget. This is budget line. As long as you are on this line, you can purchase because you have sufficient budget. As long as you are on the budget line, you can purchase because you have sufficient budget. Or also inside, it's also okay, but outside you cannot because you do not have enough or sufficient budget. Now, it will start to get complicated. We have the causes of a shift in the budget line. Shift in the budget line can happen due to a change in price or an increase in income. So shift in the budget line, it can happen due to two things, change in price or increase in income. If it is because of an increase in income, it will be parallel shift. If it is because of an increase in income, there would be, what is happening will be a parallel shift. It will be a parallel shift. But if it is a change in price, it will be pivoting. Pivot, yeah. So we have two conditions for the shift in budget line. One is because of an increase in price. One is because of an increase in income. Yeah, if it's increase in income, it will be parallel shift. Yeah, parallel shift. Parallel shift. So, for example, this will be a parallel shift. This is parallel. If this is budget line 1, and if this is budget line 2, BL2, this will be considered parallel shift. And if I draw one more, this is BL3, that will be parallel shift, yeah, parallel shift. Parallel shift is due to increase in income or also decrease in income. Increase in income, it will be parallel shift to the right. Decrease in income, it will be parallel shift to the left. So increase in income, parallel shift to the right. Decrease in income, parallel shift to the left. But if it is change in price, it will be pivoting, this one. This is going to be the example, pivoting. There is a change in price of one of the goods. There is a change in price of one of the goods. As the price of X has fallen relative to that of Y, so X is cheaper compared to Y, so consumers will choose to substitute X for Y. So they will buy less goods X. They will buy less goods X because X is more expensive. But in this case, they will buy more of goods X because X is cheaper. Sorry, the illustration mentioned that X is cheaper. X has fallen relative to Y. So sorry, X is cheaper. That means they will be purchasing more of X. Instead of 20, they will purchase 40 because X is cheaper. This is called pivoting. If this is budget line 1 and this is budget line 2. Budget line 2. So this is called pivoting. Pivoting to the right. Pivoting to the right because X is cheaper, so they will buy more of X, but they will not change their consumption of goods Y. However, they will not change the consumption of goods Y because this is due to changes in price. Because this happens due to changes in price. Next one. Again, this is also the follow-up impact. If there is a fall in the price of X, the consumers will surely buy more of goods X. This is called substitution effect. This is called substitution effect. You will always substitute to the cheaper goods. You will always substitute to the cheaper goods. Yeah, you're always going to substitute to the cheaper goods. Now, but then the thing is, there is also a following effect. There will also be a follow-up effect. Yeah, there will also be a follow-up effect afterwards. And that follow-up effect is called income effect. And that follow-up effect is called income effect. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that follow-up effect is called income effect. What is income effect? As you are going to have a fall in the price of X, that means that overall your budget will increase. That means that overall your budget will increase. Yeah, that means that overall your budget is going to increase. And when your budget increase, that means that overall the consumers will be able to purchase more of both goods X and goods Y. That means that overall they are going to be able to buy more of goods X and goods Y. That is what's going to happen. Yeah, they are going to be able to buy more of goods X and goods Y. That is called income effect. More of goods X, more of goods X and Y, goods X and Y can be purchased, more of goods X and Y can be purchased because of what? Why would more of goods X and Y can be purchased? Because, again, because you have more income. If you will ask again, why do you have more income? You go back to the first statement because there is a fall in the price of X. So it is a sequence. The fall in the price of X will make the consumer have more money to spend on other goods, including X. Yeah, you have more money, you have more budget, you have more income to spend on both goods X and Y, and that is called income effect. So again, we have two different effects. One is called substitution, one is called income. Now, effects of a shift in the budget line. Now, we are now going to incorporate budget line and indifference curve. We are now going to incorporate budget line and indifference curve, yeah. Now, we have budget line 1 and also we have indifference curve 1. We have budget line 2 and we also have indifference curve 2. Budget line 1, indifference curve 1. It will meet in the equilibrium point here. Budget line 2 and indifference curve 2 is going to meet at the equilibrium point here. Now, so it means that if there would be a shift in the budget line, now, therefore, this is very simple because this is a parallel shift. Why is this simple? Because what happens under this situation is a parallel shift. This is very simple, as what happens in this diagram is going to be a parallel shift. Yeah, what happens in this diagram is going to be a parallel shift, shifting to the right from BL1 to BL2. Shift to the right, parallel shift. So it becomes very simple. Therefore, there would be more of both goods X and goods Y that will be purchased. A higher combination or a greater combination of goods X and Y will be purchased. Very simple example. Now, what if the problem will be more complicated? What if there would be a change in price instead of an increase in income? What if the situation would be a change in price? Now, in this diagram, the situation that happened is that there will be an increase in the price of X. Let me write it here. Increase in price of X. Okay, so in this diagram, what happens is that there would be an increase in the price of X. Due to that, the budget line originally was at B1, BL1, yeah, budget line 1. It will pivot. There will be a pivoting situation. It will pivot to the left to budget line 2. There is a pivoting to the left to budget line 2. And when this happens, it means what? There are two things that's going to happen. The first is the substitution effect and then the income effect. So there are two different effects that will happen. One is called the substitution effect and the other is called the income effect. So what is the substitution effect? The substitution effect will happen as X is more expensive. People will substitute the consumption. Instead of buying goods X, they will now choose to buy less of goods X and they will substitute their consumption to goods Y. And they will substitute their consumption to goods Y. Yeah, instead of buying goods X, they will no longer buy goods X. They will now substitute their consumption to goods Y. That is the first thing that will happen. Naturally, always happens like that. When something is more expensive, you will always substitute your consumption to the one that is less expensive or cheaper. How do we show substitution effect? Substitution effect SE, yeah. I name it as SE, substitution effect happens from movement from E1 to E2. Substitution effect will be a movement from E1 to E2. Yeah, substitution will be movement from E1 to E2. That is going to be movement along the same indifference curve. That will be considered movement along the same indifference curve. And that is considered to be a substitution effect. And that is considered to be a substitution effect. Now, the tricky part or the difficult part will be the IE or income effect. Income effect, let me tell you first, it is from E2 to E3. E2 to E3. So from E2 to E3. Now, when it comes to income effect, when there is an increase in the price of goods X, you have to imagine that your budget, your overall income will go down, will decrease. Your budget or your overall income will decrease. Therefore, you will be able to buy less of goods X and goods Y. You'll be able to buy less of X and Y. Overall, you're going to buy less of X and Y. Why is it that you're going to be able to buy less of X and Y? Because your overall budget is now going to be less. Why is your overall budget now going to be less? Because there is an increase in the price of good X. So there is a sequence here. Now, if you understand this one, then you have to understand that substitution effect will not change no matter the type of good. Substitution effect always behave consistently. When there is an increase in the price of good X, when there is an increase in the price of good X, the substitution effect always moves along the same indifference curve, and it always goes to the left. If you pay attention, it always goes to the left. It always going to go to the left because an increase in the price will make it more expensive for good X. People will always switch to goods Y regardless the type of goods. Regardless the type of goods, people will always continue to decrease the purchase of good X and buy more goods Y because X is more expensive. However, for the income effect, it will be highly dependent on the types of goods mentioned in the scenario or the situation. Because we are talking about normal goods, that is why the position of the E3 or the indifference curve 2, that's why the position is here. Because when there is more income, your tendency is that you will buy more normal goods. I repeat, when there is more income, you will buy more normal goods. Now, in this situation, I have mentioned it several times that an increase in the price of goods X will lead to a fall in your income. An increase in the price of goods X leads to a fall in budget or fall in income. Therefore, when there is a fall in income, you will purchase less normal goods. If you are going to purchase less normal goods, it means that the income effect should move further away to the left. That's why it's here. The income effect or the indifference curve should shift or should move further away to the left because you are going to purchase less normal goods. That's why from E1 to E2, then from E2 to E3. All of this will be moving in the same direction. So for a normal good, both the substitution effect and the income effect are going to move in the same direction. You will see the difference once I discuss for inferior good only. Then you will be able to see. Okay. Now, there are two changes. This is just a summary of what was discussed previously. So there are two changes. First, we have a movement along. It's called the substitution effect, movement along. Movement along indifference curve 1 from E1 to E2, that's called a substitution effect. That is called because the consumer will buy less of goods X as it is now relatively more expensive compared to goods Y. And there will be a shift from E2 to E3 to a lower indifference curve. It is now referred to as the income effect. It happens because the price of item or goods X is increasing and it will leave the consumer with less budget. This is considered to be a negative income effect because it causes the consumption of both goods to decrease. Okay.
Wait, Mister, can you repeat again about the negative income effect again?
Okay, negative income effect. Sorry. Negative income effect. Why is it negative? Again, the foundation for income effect to be negative or positive, it highly depends on do you have less income or you have more income. Under this situation, as we know, there is an increase in the price of good X, right? If there is an increase in the price of good X, your overall income or overall budget goes down. When your overall income or overall budget goes down, you will decrease the consumption of both goods. That will be considered negative income effect. Do you get it, Nelson?
Okay. Can you explain the positive income effect, or will you go to it later?
Positive income effect is going to be explained for the inferior goods, I suppose. But just to make it clear, for now, positive income effect will be exactly the same. However, it will only happen when there is a decrease in the price of good X. So the direct opposite of this scenario. If there is a decrease in the price of good X, only then it will happen that way. Otherwise, it will be happening this way. Yeah, so that is going to be the direct opposite of this scenario for the positive income effect. Okay, I'll move on first, then you will see the difference soon. Yeah, this was your question.
Okay, Mister.
Yes. So your question before. So in that situation, if there will be a decrease in the price of good X, now a decrease in the price of good X, it will make the budget line pivot. This is budget line 1, yeah. From this point, it's going to pivot here, pivoting to the right. Why would it make the budget line pivot to the right? It is going to pivot to the right. The reason is that because good X is cheaper, people will substitute their consumption from goods Y to goods X because X is cheaper. It is normal. Normal always happens that way. So in this case, you can see that the substitution effect, as I mentioned, it is always the movement along the same indifference curve. It is always the movement along the same indifference curve. So from E1 to E2. Oh, by the way, don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to draw the indifference curve step by step. Once you know the concept for this, then it will be easy for me to guide you on how to draw the step-by-step, step 1 until step 5. How do we draw the budget line and indifference curve completely? But you understand first the effects, so it's easier for you to imagine later on. So if it's a substitution effect, it will be movement along E1 to E2. That's a substitution effect. Why is it to the right? Why would the substitution effect move to the right? The main reason is that because there is a decrease in the price of good X, therefore people will for sure consume more of good X compared to good Y because they are going to substitute to the cheaper goods always. As for the income effect, it will be from E2 to E3, E1 to E2, E2 to E3. Yeah, it will be this scenario now, the one that mentioned by Nelson, the scenario, there is a decrease in the price of good X. Therefore, overall budget of the person, the budget or the income overall of the person will now be higher than before. If they have more budget or more income, they are able to consume more of goods X and goods Y. Therefore, the income effect is going to move to the right. It's going to shift the indifference curve further away to the right, indicating a positive income effect. Indicating a positive income effect, which means that more of good X and goods Y can be purchased. Now, because the positioning of the indifference curve. Now, how do we know goods X is normal or inferior or given goods? How are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know if good X are normal, inferior, or given? We can guarantee that good X is a normal good because, again, normal goods are the goods that behave when there is an increase in your income, you are going to purchase more of that goods. In this situation, we have an increase in income and we are purchasing more of good X. You can see more of good X is being purchased here at this point. It's more compared to originally here. So since more of good X is consumed, so good X is considered to be a normal goods. You will only understand once you see the inferior good diagram, then you will see the differences between normal and inferior goods. Now, inferior good. If the good is an inferior good, there is not going to be any difference when it comes to substitution effect. The substitution effect will be exactly the same because substitution effect will always behave consistently because substitution effect is going to behave consistently always. When there is an increase in price, people will substitute to the other one. When there is a decrease in price, people will always buy that cheaper goods. So the behavior is always the same for substitution effect, no matter the type of goods. But the income effect will be different. Why would it be different? Because you can see here now. Okay, now the scenario first. Yeah. This scenario, under this diagram, the scenario is a decrease in the price of good X. A decrease in the price of good X. Of good X. How do I know? Even without the mentioning here, I would know because of the situation that happens here. A decrease in the price of good X is happening here because there is a pivoting of the budget line to the right. So I'm sure that this is a decrease in the price of good X. Good X becomes cheaper. People are going to buy more good X because it is cheaper compared to good Y. Therefore, the substitution effect will be from E1 to E2. This direction. However, the income effect is not moving here. It's not moving here. You don't see it moving here. You do not see the income effect to be moving in the same direction. What's the reason? Because goods X is an inferior good. That's why it is moving in a different direction. So let me summarize first. SE, yeah, substitution effect is from E1 to E2. It is still consistent. There is a positive substitution effect because there is a a decrease in the price of good X. But for the income effect, it will be from E2 to E3. E2, sorry, E2 to E3. So this will be considered negative income effect. This is still positive substitution effect, and for the income effect, it will be considered negative. Why is it negative? Because a decrease in the price of good X, the impact would be the person will be having more income or more budget overall. The person will be having more income or more budget overall. However, the person is not deciding to spend their additional budget or income on buying good X. The person is not deciding to spend the additional budget or income to buy good X, because good X is an inferior good. And you know, an inferior good are goods that when your income goes up, the consumption goes down. That is what you have to know. When your income goes up, the consumption goes down. That is for inferior goods. That's what you have to know. That's why good X is an inferior good, and you can see now that less of goods X is being consumed in respect or in the form of their income effect. However, their substitution effect will not be affected. It will still be consistent. More of good X will be consumed because it's cheaper, but eventually, in terms of income effect, less of goods X will be purchased because, again, good X is inferior, and inferior goods are going to be purchased less when your income becomes more. Okay, and for given goods are the extreme form of inferior goods. Given goods would be an extreme form of inferior goods. So for substitution effect, no further explanation, because it will be exactly the same as normal and inferior, but the only difference is that you have to understand that this is the substitution effect. Let me write it down first. It's from J to K, and the income effect is from K to L. It's from K to L. Now, if you look at it simply, it looks similar to an inferior good. It looks very similar to inferior good. The substitution effect is positive also, yeah, because you can see that there is a decrease in the price of goods B in this case. Yeah, goods B is cheaper, so people will pivot towards goods B. So a substitution effect will be positive, but the income effect is going to be negative. Why would the income effect be negative? Yeah, why would the income effect be negative? Because again, given goods are the goods that will be consumed more when the price of the goods are higher. These are necessities, right? These are necessities. Necessities. You are going to purchase more, so when the price is higher, the demand, yeah, or the consumption will be higher for these goods. These are rice and cooking oil. So again, when a person has more income, they will not buy this kind of necessities. Yeah, they will not buy more these kind of necessities at all. They will not buy more of this kind of necessities. But what is going to happen is what is going to happen is that less will be bought. That's why it's a negative income effect. It's an extreme form of inferior goods. It's considered an extreme form of inferior goods. That's why the income effect is also negative. Okay, so this is the summary. Substitution effect is when the price of a good changes, people will always switch to the cheaper alternative. In that case, when the price of goods X is cheaper, people will always buy more good X. Yeah, when the price of good X is cheaper, people will always buy more good X. That is the conditions, yeah. And if good X is more expensive, people will buy less of good X, that is for sure. So if it is positive, means that it is going to be buying more of that goods. If it's negative, it's going to buy less of that goods. But income effect is different. Income effect is the
Wait, Mister,
impact.
can you show the slide again the before,
Oh,
please?
sorry. Yeah, yes. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mister.
Okay. However, for income effect, there will be a different situation because that will be the impact of the changes in the price of the goods towards the person's income or budget, influencing how much they can buy. If it's positive income effect, that means that they are going to buy more of that goods. If it's negative income effect, when the income is more, they're going to buy less of that goods. So positive income effect applies for goods that are going to be bought more, normally considered as normal goods. But if it's negative income effect, then it will be bought less or inferior goods. There's a summary here. Very easy to remember. It's very easy to remember. If it's a normal goods, when the price rises, the substitution effect will be negative. So this also you can remember. There's also another way to understand this kind of effects. It can be remembered easily. When the price rises, substitution effect will be negative. Income effect will be negative. Again, if it's normal, both of these should be the same. You see, both the substitution effect and the income effect should be negative, negative, or positive, positive. In case you missed the discussions, then you can again later with the recordings, I'll try to upload so you can see again for the explanation. Now, if the price falls, then it will be positive substitution effect, and also income effect should also be positive, moving in the same direction. But for inferior and given, price increases, then the substitution effect is negative, but the income effect will be positive. It's always different. So this will always be different when it comes to inferior and given goods. Should always be different. That is what we can say. But for given goods, the income effect is greater than substitution effect. For given goods, the income effect is greater than substitution effect. That is for given goods. And when it comes to substitution effect, when the price goes up, the substitution effect always negative. And when the price goes down, the substitution effect is always positive. That is already a guaranteed situation. You will soon understand as you progress why is it that substitution effect, if it is higher price of good X, why would it be negative? That is already a guaranteed situation. No doubt for all substitution effects. Substitution effect will be movement along the curve. It is a movement along the curve. If it's an income effect, it should be a shift onto a different curve. Now, limitations of indifference curve. Yeah. Limitations of indifference curve. This will be for the essay questions. Yeah. So before I draw the indifference curve for you, we look at first the limitation of indifference curve. So indifference curves has some limitations because in real life, there are more than just two goods in this world. So we are trying to simplify the situation in the real world by using indifference curve because we are limiting choices to just 2 goods instead of hundreds of different goods in real life. So that's the first limitation. The second limitation is that the term indifference implies that consumers are willing to accept any combination of 2 goods as represented by the indifference curve, but in reality, they might not be indifferent. They might not be indifferent for all types of goods. They might have preferences over one goods compared to another. That is why they cannot be set as indifference. The third, indifference curves assume that consumers act rationally, but in real life, consumers do not always act rationally. So that will be, and I will try to draw for the indifference curve. So what are the steps to draw indifference curve? Now, if you are still confused, you have to pay attention the steps to draw indifference curve. You draw first, step 1, you draw first the axis. This will be goods X, yeah. Very easy steps. This is goods X. And this is goods Y. So we have goods X and goods Y. That is the first step number 1, yeah. Step number 2, you draw first budget line. I'll label it budget line 1. Now, when you want to move further from this step, so this is called the base diagram. Yeah. As I always mention in my discussions, I like to use the term base diagram. So whatever happens, if you are asked to draw an indifference curve, draw this one first. And then after that, I will give you the scenario. There is a decrease in price of good X. After the base diagram, you have to check the situation, or you have to propose, not just check, but be proactive and propose the situation. Decrease in price of good X. In other words, good X becomes cheaper. Therefore, there will be a pivoting to the right of the budget line. That is the second step, yeah. The budget line will pivot to the right because X is cheaper. After this, you can now settle with the indifference curve. So you can now draw the indifference curve here. Okay, this is indifference curve 1. You will not draw indifference curve 2 first. Yeah, you will not draw indifference curve 2 first. You just keep it this way. You will label this E1. This is E1, okay? Now, the next step is that you must draw an imaginary budget line parallel to the new budget line. I repeat my statement. You must draw an imaginary budget line that is parallel to budget line 2. Budget line 2 is the new budget line. Let me draw it slowly. Sorry if it's not looking very, very neat, but this will be budget line 3, yeah. An imaginary budget line. And from that imaginary budget line, we can put a dot here. This is called E2. So E2 is a point where the indifference curve 1 is going to meet the imaginary budget line. I repeat, point equilibrium 2 is the point where the indifference curve 1 is going to meet the imaginary budget line. And now we have obtained the substitution effect, which is E1 to E2. After we have obtained this substitution effect, we can now determine our indifference curve 2. We now know, or we have to understand now, what type of good is good X. If good X is a normal good, then E3 would be here. Okay. This will be indifference curve 2, sorry, not indifference curve 2 ya, to be consistent. This will be indifference curve 2. This will be indifference curve 2, and this will be E3. Yeah, that will be E3. Okay. How do I know that that will be, sorry, this will be here. Yeah, that will be the income effect, yeah. How do I know that the E3 will be located in that position? How would I supposed to know? Because I have determined that good X is a normal good. So I know that if good X is a normal good, that means when there is a decrease in price of X, there would be a substitution effect that's positive. There would be a higher budget or higher income that the person have. Therefore, if there will be a higher income or higher budget that the person have, what is going to happen is that they are going to buy more of both goods, especially they are going to buy more of the normal goods, since goods X is considered by us, or we determine it to be a normal. They will certainly buy more of good X. That's why the income effect is moving in the same direction. That's why the income effect is moving in the same direction. So that will be the situations. That will be the situations on how to draw the indifference curve and budget line step by step. So you have to draw the base diagram, and then you need to determine the scenario. You can draw the indifference curve, point the equilibrium point, and then draw the imaginary budget line that will be parallel to the new budget line. Imaginary budget line that's parallel to the new budget line. And after that, what? After that, you have to determine, is it normal, is it inferior, or given? Because if it's inferior, then the drawing of the indifference curve would be somewhere here. It will be somewhere here. But if it's given, it will be somewhere here. The drawing of the indifference curve will be somewhere here. So basically, what is going to determine normal, inferior, or given is where you draw your indifference curve to. Where is your indifference curve to? That is what is going to determine whether the goods is normal, inferior, or given. Right, so that is for the discussion for indifference curve and budget line. So I'll stop the recording first.